Thank you very much. Like Nicola said, my name is Mathieu Boudreau. I'm the MRM Deputy Editor for Scientific Outreach. And today I wanted to tell you a little bit more about MRM highlights and one of the NeuroLibre preprints that was recently published in MRM that was featured in highlights. So highlights was an initiative that started in 2015. It was created by Nicolas Sikov and Erica Raven, who's also in the audience today. And the initial format was interviewing authors that had recently published in the journal. The papers were picked by the editor-in-chief, and it just gave an opportunity to have a more relaxed discussion with the authors about their work and stories behind what went behind that publication. When I took over in 2020, Peter Jesuit was also taking over as editor-in-chief, and we had several discussions and decided on changing the format to highlighting papers that had good reproducible research practices. And so since then, I've been going through each paper and seeing if some of them qualified for that. The current format was to have monthly interviews with the authors about their career paths and their paper. We collect all of these in an annual magazine that's published at the provided at the ICMRM conference each year, and then we also have an after party that we throw as a thanks to both the authors that participated, the contributors that interviewed them, and the readers. So I think since I started, we've interviewed, since 2020, we've interviewed or featured about 36 papers and interviewed over 80 authors about their research and passion for reproducible research. This is just a selection of them that happened more recently, and you can either check out the blog like Peter had shown, or look on some of our social media for some summaries. In addition, we provided the authors with a questionnaire that focused more on their reproducible research insights. This led to questions about, advice that they would have had for other authors that might not be sharing code and data, why they did so, what maybe were some of the limitations or institutional barriers to do so. And this was recently collected with for a review paper in MRMS, and to kind of summarize all of the insights. So I'd recommend you to check that out. And I think the authors following might mention it. Like Peter mentioned, we saw a transition from about 1 in 10 to 1 in 3 papers sharing data or code or doing some sort of practice of sharing. And what these numbers don't quite show is the variability in quality and of what was being shared. And so not all of them, might have passed the code review that Peter had mentioned. And I think that's where things like NeuroLibre and the code reviews and some other initiatives are important, because although just sharing code is valuable, it's important to kind of provide a standard if you're going to be citing it in your paper. And so recently, one of the papers that we published in MRM, we submitted as a NeuroLibre preprint. This was a challenge that we had at the ICMRM conference with 2 of these study groups. And it was a T1 mapping a reproducibility challenge that led to data collection of, I think, over 39 or about 39 phantom T1 mapping data sets and 56 human data sets that was all shared openly. The entire process was open, so the submission process, data analysis code, processing code, everything there. And this was recently featured in MRM Highlights. We had a roundtable discussion testing out a new format, and so if you're interested in that, I recommend you check that out. This is I'll show a quick animation of the NeuroLibre preprint that we made for this. And so prior to submitting to the journal, we wanted to create more of an interactive version of the paper. And so this was formatted really to be look like the paper, but have each figure, additional interactivity and features. And so one of the main features of it was a dashboard that was written by Aga Karakuzu. This is running on the NeuroLibre servers. It's interactive. You can view all the data points, additional statistics. In the paper, there's just a screenshot, but we wanted to provide the authors with the opportunity to really explore the data. Each figures also had, were created with Plotly and are interactive, provide additional statistical information, and the code to produce them is available above the figures. And if you want to go and edit the code and re-execute any of the analyses, you can click on the little rocket icon on top. That will open a Binder session on the NeuroLibre servers and make it available so that you can run it. I just wanted to mention especially this dashboard was also submitted for a competition in Plotly, I think this year, and won a special mention prize. So congrats on that. And my last thing I wanted to mention was another initiative that we had done in our society was through the Reproducible Research Study Group, and we had challenged members to take software that were hosted on MRPub repository, which is related to MR softwares, and create Jupyter books out of them. So we had, I think, 8 submissions. So all of these have Jupyter books that were created and are great examples of what can be done with the software, and could have been NeuroLibre submissions. That's it for me. Thank you.